Last topic of the chapter, the Council of Ministers. Now, in this topic, we will learn who are the different types of ministers who are selected for the Council of Ministers under the Prime Minister of India. The Council of Ministers comprises cabinet ministers. So, who all are there in the Council of Ministers? Underline, it is most important. Cabinet ministers are there, ministers of state with independent charge, ministers of state who worked with cabinet ministers, and deputy ministers. So these are the person who are the member of the Council of Ministers. The real powers of the executive lie with the prime minister and his or her Council of Minister. So in a country, the real power is under whom? Is under the prime minister and his Council of Ministers. So I have already told you, if the prime minister is elected, he will select the group of people who will be the Council of Minister, and they plays an important role to make rules and regulation in our country. The executive works through different departments of the government called portfolio. So the executive, that means the Council of Minister, they are given different departments so that they can run the government, and and the person who are given the different department, they are called portfolios. So what are the different types of department? That is defense, finance, industry, agriculture, and railway. These are the departments which are given to the ministers who are in the Council of Ministers. The Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers work as a team on the principle of collective responsibility. So the Prime Minister of India and the Council of Ministers, they work as a team. That means they all are as a one team, so that they are collective responsible. That means if one person, that means if the Minister of Railway have done something wrong, then the whole Council of Ministers and the Prime Minister will be responsible. Okay. They are jointly responsible to the parliament for any decision taken by them. So they are jointly, that means the Council of Minister and the Prime Minister are responsible of any decision which are taken by them. This means if one ministers lose the faith of the opposition due to some reason, the opposition can initiate a no confidence motion against the government, and if the government fails to defend the motion, the entire Council of Ministers will have to resign. Which means that if one minister lose the faith, that means if one minister is not able to answer the question which is asked by the opposition party due to some reason, okay, and the opposition then the opposition party can initiate a no confidence motion. That means why no confidence motion? Because the minister of the Council of Ministers, they are not able to answer the question which the opposition party are asking. Opposition party in our country at present is the Indian National Congress, okay, TMC, and so on. So if the minister is not able to answer the question of the opposition party will initiate a no confidence motion against the government, and due to which and if the government fails to defend, again there will be no confidence motion. Again they will given the chance to answer the question. If again the government fails to defend the motion, that means if again the government, that means the Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers are not able to answer the question which the opposition party is asking, then the entire Council of Ministers will have to resign. This is the procedure. That means if one person make a mistake, then the whole Council of Ministers have to suffer, and even the Prime Minister of India he or she have to suffer the same thing. The executive is also assisted by an administrative machinery called the bureaucracy or the civil service. So the executive, that means the Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers, they are helped by the administrative machinery called the bureaucracy or the civil service. That means the IAS officer, IPS officer, IFS, and so on. They are employed by the government to assist the ministry in formulating policies and implementing them. So what are they or why they are implemented? So that they are implemented, that means they are given jobs by the Indian government to help the ministers to form different types of policies, and which are formed by the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, and they will help in implementing them in our country. The bureaucracy does not take any political position on policy matter. So the bureaucracy, that means the civil servant, does not belong to any political position. okay, and they do not support any political parties, and even they do not participate in any policy matters. They help in drafting the policies and in their implementation. Their main work is to make the to make a plan so that they can implement the policies or the laws which are made by the parliament, that is Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Next is division of power between the center and state. This topic is very important. So now we will discuss what are the powers which are divided between the central government and the state government. India has a federal form of government. There is one government at the center and one level of state government. So India is a federal form of government. That means power is divided into central and state government. Okay. So at the national level is the central government, and at the state level the every state government is appointed. The constitution has divided the subject for law making between the parliament and the state legislature. So our Indian constitution, when it was drafted, they have already divided the subjects or the topics so that there won't be any issues regarding the topics which the central and the state government will take action. These subjects are mentioned in the three lists. So there are three lists which are mentioned in our Indian constitution: the union list, the state list, and the concurrent list. The union list has subject of national importance on which we need a uniform policy throughout the country. So the items which are under the union list, it is the national importance, that means it is the welfare of the whole country. That's why different types of policies are made so that they can implement throughout the country. What are the different types of topics? They are defense, foreign affairs, banking, communication, and currency are included in the union list. Please remember the items which are in the union list. Okay, and the union list are handled by the central government. The central government can make law and implement or change the law. So all the items which are mentioned in the union list, only the central government have the authority. Next is the state list, contains subjects of state and local importance on which the state government make law. So the list which are or the items which are in the state list, it is controlled by the state and it is for local importance. That means only to that particular state. Hence the state government have the power to make law. What are the items? Police, trade, commerce, agriculture, irrigation are included in the state lists. Okay. Now the concurrent list. The concurrent list includes subject of common interest to both the union and state government. So in the concurrent list, the items are mentioned in which both plays an important role for the union government, that is central government, and the state government. So that's why hence we can say that in the concurrent list, the subjects which are added in the concurrent list, both the union government, that is the central government, and the state government have the power to make law. And if there is any disagreement between the union government, that is central government, and the state government, as the central government is more powerful, then the central government power decision is final. Okay, especially in the concurrent list. The items are education, forest, trade union, marriage, adoption, succession. So these are the items which are included in the concurrent list. In case there is a conflict, just now I have explained you, the same thing is given over here. In case there is a conflict on any law made by both the central and state government on the concurrent list, okay, if there is a conflict, that means both their views does not match, okay, on the list which are mentioned in the concurrent list, the law made by the central government prevails. So as the central government is more powerful and it is spread over throughout the country, then the decision of central government will be taken, not the state government. Subjects which do not fall in any these three lists, such as computer software, internet, and dual citizenship, are listed in the residuary list. So there is one more type of list, that is the residuary list, and in this list the items are related to computer software, industries, and dual citizenship are mentioned in the residuary list, and it is controlled by the central government of India.